Many walk upon this earth with only a surface understanding of what it means to call something divine. They bestow the title of God upon anything that seems to wield power beyond the ordinary. In ancient times, rulers like Pharaoh proclaimed themselves as deities, demanding submission and reverence, as if their fleeting power could ever match the one who spoke the universe into being. The hearts of the people, blinded by awe and fear, bowed to men who would one day crumble to dust, their voices silenced by the inevitability of death. Saints, too, were elevated to divine status by those who mistook their piety for lordship, forgetting that their goodness was but a reflection of the one who fashioned them. Even figments of imagination, mere whispers of human creativity, are lifted to divine status. Myths of ancient Greece and Rome, stories of thunder gods and rulers of the seas, were etched into stone and sung in poetry, yet they remain nothing more than shadows of human longing for the eternal. Today, this longing is found even in the glow of cinema screens, where characters are imbued with powers that transcend human ability. Though fictional, people marvel at these illusions, forgetting that true power is not bound by pixels or pages, but by the one whose will alone sustains the stars in their orbits. When we watch these stories unfold, when we see characters perform feats of unimaginable power, we understand, even if unconsciously, that it is not truly the character who commands such power. It is the author, the one who wrote their story, designed their abilities, and orchestrated their every move. The character, no matter how powerful they appear, is bound entirely to the will of its creator. It is the imagination of the author that breathes life into their powers, determines their fate, and defines their purpose. This truth is woven into the narrative itself, for even the mightiest fictional gods and heroes are mere shadows of the author's design, powerless to exist outside the pages of their story. Likewise, our existence is not separate from its author. The breath we draw, the heartbeat that drums within our chests, the light that streams from the sun, all exist because he wrote it so. He is the true author of our reality, the one who spoke creation into existence and sustains it with his command. Just as fictional characters have no power except what their author gives them, we too possess nothing except what has been decreed by the one who created us. Our strength, our intellect, our very existence is a reflection of his will, not our own. To imagine otherwise is like a character in a story believing it wrote itself, blind to the pen that crafted its every thought and action. The truth is simple, yet profound. Divinity is not a mantle that can be worn by creation. It is not something that can be grasped, imagined, or shared. True divinity belongs solely to the one who is eternal, uncreated, omniscient, omnipresent, and self-sufficient. He exists outside the bounds of space and time, untouched by the decay of matter or the passage of moments. He is the source of all existence, yet he is dependent upon none. His light illuminates the hearts of those who seek him, and his mercy enfolds those who recognize his signs. This understanding dismantles the illusions of false gods. If something is bound by time, it cannot be eternal. If it has a beginning, it is not uncreated. If it is confined to a place, it is not omnipresent. If it is reliant on anything outside of itself, it is not self-sufficient. By this measure, all the false gods of the earth fade into shadows, mere whispers of imagination and misunderstanding. What power they hold is temporary, borrowed from the true source of all power, and what reverence they receive is misplaced, stolen from the one who alone is worthy. This is why God, in his wisdom, withholds supernatural powers from human beings in this life. He knows the nature of humanity, how easily power corrupts, how swiftly pride swells in the hearts of those given even a taste of authority. History bears witness to the tyranny of kings and the oppression of rulers who, in their arrogance, demanded worship and submission. Were true power given to such hands, the earth would groan under the weight of injustice, and the heavens would tremble at the chaos unleashed. In his mercy, God spares humanity from this path, reserving true power for the hereafter, where only the righteous will be adorned with abilities that mirror the purity of their hearts. Yet God allows glimpses of this reality in the world of fiction. Through stories of powerful beings and cosmic battles, we are shown the consequences of unchecked might, divorced from divine guidance. Universes are torn apart, stars are extinguished, and chaos reigns when power is wielded without submission to the Creator. It is as if God permits these illusions to serve as mirrors, reflecting back to humanity the danger of misplacing worship and the beauty of surrendering to the one whose power is perfect, whose wisdom is infinite. Even if such powerful beings did exist, their righteousness would demand submission to their Creator. The angels, majestic and mighty, who are sometimes mistakenly worshipped, spend their existence in praise and fear of the one who gave them life. Their wings stretch across the horizons, yet their hearts bow in humility. They know that true power belongs not to creation, but to the Creator, whose throne encompasses the heavens and the earth, whose light outshines all else. Yet, even in the face of such clarity, there are those who have strayed by taking one of God's most honored servants as a deity. Jesus, a man sent with miracles and divine guidance, was taken by many as a god, elevating him to a status reserved only for the Creator. Though he performed miracles, gave life to the dead by God's permission, and healed the sick, he never once claimed lordship over mankind. His prayers were directed to the one who sent him. His submission was to the one who empowered him. Yet the people, blinded by awe, turned their worship to the servant instead of the master. Jesus, who by their own belief suffered death, who walked the earth, who had a beginning, and who openly declared that the knowledge of the hour belonged only to the Father, cannot be considered eternal, omniscient, or self-sufficient. These are attributes exclusive to God alone. This understanding eliminates any possibility of him being divine, for the eternal does not die, the uncreated does not begin, and the all-knowing does not lack understanding. In truth, Allah in Islam, the Father in Christianity, and Elohim in Judaism all share these eternal attributes. They are different names for the same God who spoke to Abraham, Moses, and the prophets. This is why the Quran refers to Jews and Christians as the people of the book, recognizing that they too received divine revelation, though it has been altered and changed through time. The Quran came as a confirmation of the truth within those scriptures, weeding out falsehoods and affirming pure light. The Grand Unveiling, a journey to the face of our Lord. There is a longing that sleeps within the heart of all creation, an ache that trembles beneath the surface of existence, a yearning for the day when the veil of separation is lifted and the face of our Lord is unveiled in its full majesty. It is the hope that drives the soul forward, the whispered prayer in the stillness of the night, the silent tear that falls when eyes are lifted to the heavens. For in every star that adorns the midnight sky, in every sunbeam that pierces the dawn, there is a whisper of his light, a mere reflection of his majesty cast upon the canvas of creation. And as the Prophet Muhammad said, "Indeed, you will see your Lord with your own eyes, just as you see the full moon on a clear night, unobstructed and perfect. Their gaze will be clear, unhindered, a vision of majesty that will forever remain etched upon their hearts. No veil will obscure, no shadow will dim the brilliance of his face. Just as the full moon hangs in the stillness of the night, radiant and complete, so too will his countenance be witnessed, majestic beyond comprehension, filling the hearts of the believers with awestruck tranquility. In this world we dwell among shadows and reflections. The light we see, the radiance of the sun, the glow of the moon, the flicker of stars is but created light, fashioned by his command, woven into the fabric of existence. The sun that rises each day is a lantern, suspended in the vastness of his dominion, its rays a distant echo of his true light. Moonlight is but a borrowed glow, a softened whisper of his radiance, and the stars are like candles scattered across the dome of the heavens, flickering with hints of his magnificence. Yet these are only glimpses, mere traces of his created light, reflections of his will manifest in the material world. But on that day, the day of grand unveiling, creation will hold its breath. The oceans will still, their tides pausing in reverence. The winds will hush, silencing their whispers across the lands. Mountains will bow, and the earth itself will tremble, as if awakening to its true purpose. All of existence will align in perfect harmony, awaiting the unveiling of the uncreated light, light that belongs to him alone, independent of form or medium, eternal and absolute. This is the light unborrowed, unreflected, unfiltered through veils of creation, but rather the very essence of his majesty. And behold, upon that day, rivers will flow with liquid light, trees will sway with melodies of praise, and the fragrance of joy will fill the eternal air. The very air will hum with the remembrance of God, vibrating with the echoes of his mercy and grace. The creatures of paradise, untouched by the corruption of sin, will sing praises in tongues now understood by all, their voices woven into the tapestry of divine glorification. Under the canopy of eternity, the orchestration of the heavens will commence. Bands of angels will play instruments not of this world. Harps strung with light, drums that beat with the pulse of the cosmos, flutes that breathe with divine melody, resonating with harmonies that ripple through the gardens of paradise. The melody will be woven into the very fabric of eternity, resonating through its rivers, its trees, its palaces of light. And then the question will be asked, are you pleased? Is there more that you desire? And with hearts overwhelmed, the believers will respond, what more could there be, O Lord? And it is then that the veil will be lifted. In that sacred moment, the very fabric of existence will be illuminated by the uncreated light of his face alone. The sun, moon, and stars, once mere vessels of light suspended in the heavens, will be transformed into living creations, servants of his command, conscious and aware, engaged in perpetual worship. Their light, no longer needed to illuminate, will be woven into songs of glorification, each ray a verse, each glow a prayer, as they orbit in harmony with the rhythm of divine praise. His face will shine upon his creation, not as the sun scorches the earth, but as light fills the heart, pure, tender, and eternal. And from his face will flow uncreated colors, hues unknown to any eye, shades unseen by mortal sight, colors not born of blending light and shadow, but manifestations of his essence, pure and unadulterated. Gardens will bloom with colors that cannot be named. Rivers will shimmer with hues that defy understanding. Leaves of paradise will reflect light that dances in waves, of emerald and sapphire unknown to earthly eyes. The skies will swirl with iridescence, like the fabric of light unraveling to reveal hidden spectrums of divine artistry. The trees of paradise, no longer stagnant, will dance with praises of their Lord. Their branches will sway and bend as if alive with the rhythm of worship, singing melodies that ripple through the gardens. Their leaves will shimmer with a radiant glow, reflecting the uncreated light that touches all of existence. The throne of God itself will tremble with praise, a glorious trembling that resonates through the heavens, echoing the glorification of all creation. The rivers, the winds, the very light in the air, all will hum with the remembrance of his name, a celestial chorus that will never fade. And when the believers gaze upon the face of their Lord, a transformation will take place. Their beauty, already unimaginable, will be magnified in an instant. The light of his face will reflect upon them, increasing their radiance tenfold, their faces shining with a glow that mirrors his mercy, their souls swelling with beauty that defies comprehension. Knees will buckle, not from fear, but from awe. Eyes will weep, not from sorrow, but from the fulfillment of longing. And in that single gaze, every pain, every struggle, every tear shed in yearning will be forgotten, replaced by a joy that surpasses all understanding. It will be the first time creation looks upon its creator, unfiltered, unshadowed, unbounded, illuminated by uncreated colors that swirl and dance in eternal harmony. The hearts of the believers will swell with a love that knows no limits. Every breath a hymn of gratitude, every step a pilgrimage deeper into his nearness. Time itself will lose its grip, for eternity will be written into the fabric of existence, and the believers will walk with him in gardens beneath which rivers flow, rivers that sing his praises and trees that sway with the remembrance of his mercy. The unveiling will not just be a moment, it will be the dawn of a reality, where his uncreated light is the air we breathe, where his mercy is the ground upon which we walk, and the face of our Lord, shining with uncreated light and colors never before beheld, will be the horizon that never fades. For in his light there is no end, only eternal beginnings. This is the promise of the grand unveiling, a journey to the face of our Lord, where longing is fulfilled and creation is finally brought home to its creator.